What it means when God goes completely silent. That deafening silence from God, it feels like abandonment, a dial tone from heaven when you need a lifeline. But what if it's not abandonment at all? What if it's an invitation? When we look at giants of the faith like Job and Abraham, we discover a startling truth. God's quiet is often a prelude, a sacred space where He prepares us for something greater. It's not a sign of his absence, but a powerful, albeit unsettling, sign of his presence. It's the sound of God trusting you with the test. Let's get into it by focusing on the agony of the void through Job's trial. No one understood this agony more than Job. God himself called him blameless and upright. Yet, in a sudden, catastrophic turn, Job lost his children, his wealth, and his health. Through it all, his deepest pain was not his loss, but the crushing silence from the one he had served so faithfully. He cried out, "I cry out to you, but you do not answer me." For 40 chapters, heaven remained quiet. Here's the crucial truth. This wasn't punishment, it was a test. The accuser, Satan, had challenged God, claiming Job was only faithful because of his blessings. God's silence was the necessary condition of the test, the arena where the question would be answered. Is faith purely transactional? In that quiet, Job's faith was stretched to its limit, proving that his trust was in God himself, not just God's gifts. Next, let us focus on the teacher's silence and its purpose. Think of God's silence like a teacher during a final exam. The teacher spends months instructing students, but on test day, they go quiet. This silence isn't abandonment, it's a sign of confidence and the space for students to show what they've truly learned. In the same way, God's quiet seasons are a divine test. When we can't feel His presence or hear His voice, we are forced to stand on what we know to be true: His unchanging character and His promises. This silence acts like a refining fire, burning away the impurities in our faith, like our dependence on feelings or hidden pride. It reveals whether we seek God for what He can give us or for who He is. The purpose is not to harm us, but to produce a faith that is mature and complete. Furthermore, we will focus on the silence of preparation through the journey of Abraham. Divine silence is also about preparation. God called Abraham and promised to make him a great nation, but what followed was not immediate fulfillment. It was decades of silence. The promise of a son seemed more impossible with each passing year. This long wait was a masterclass in patience, designed to stretch Abraham's faith beyond human reason. The ultimate test came when God commanded him to sacrifice his long-awaited son, Isaac. After the command, God was silent again. For 3 agonizing days, as Abraham traveled to the mountain, the heavens were quiet. Yet Abraham obeyed, reasoning, as Hebrews tells us, that God could even raise the dead. The silence was the crucible where his faith was solidified, proving he was ready to become the father of all who believe. Before closing, I want to ask myself and you a question. How should we respond in the quiet? So how do we navigate these seasons? First, press in, don't pull away. Crying out to God in your confusion is a profound act of faith. Keep praying, even if it feels like you're hitting a ceiling. Second, remember what He's done before. Your memory of His past faithfulness is an anchor in the present storm. Finally, trust the work you can't see. A seed grows in silence and darkness before it breaks through the soil. Your season of silence is often a season of unseen growth and preparation. In the end, God's silence is not an empty space. It is a shaping room, an invitation to a deeper faith anchored in His unshakable character. He has not forgotten you. He is with you, especially in the silence. If your faith has been forged in this quiet, your story could be the encouragement someone else needs. Just remember, the silence is never the end. It's the chapter before the breakthrough.